Fun fact is not so fun. I need to charge the old iPod that I use for my notes and sermon videos. So So I can't make that today for the next bit of Hebrews that I'm doing. So I guess I'm turning this into a vlog. For the first time in a while. Because some people from one of my small groups found my vlog. And they asked about it. So I'm going to do it again. Because why not? Old school Zach, let's go. So because I'm in some magical season still where I'm doing absolutely nothing with my life, I've delegated my walks and stuff to the morning. So that's what I'm going to get ready to do. Why'd y'all change? So what's been new with Zach? Well, Zach has been focusing on his testimony and how embarrassed he is of it. But I think a good chunk of it is that God is checking me because I have not been very kind to people who used to live like me 6 or 7 years ago. So he's kind of checking me, and I do need to be a little more compassionate, be more like Jesus. There's also been somewhat of an internal debate on whether or not I want to share it at my church's Thanksgiving celebration that they do, where people will share their testimonies and stuff. I kind of know that they won't judge me, but a lot of me feels like they will. So that's also the internal dilemma. So there's a difference between a lot of me knowing something and a lot of me feeling like something. And that's kind of the thing I had to get out of my head, though, is that get out of my own head. And that's what I used to do. And that's how I ended up in the mess that I was in 6 or 7 years ago. Sorry, it's not me cringing at myself from then. It's me cringing at 6, 7. And I hate that I had to bring that up. But yeah. And it was like 6 or 7 years ago because it's about to be that. Because this Saturday, it'll be 5 years since I was baptized. Can you believe that? That was at my old church. And wow, I can't believe 5 years just flew by like that. Wilderness. But I am loving this crisp fall air. And honestly, the nice weather is escaping us. But for now, my gosh, does this feel beautiful. This feels amazing. And to be out in God's creation like this, like, who wouldn't want to take up hiking? I know I'm just walking through the woods in my neighborhood, but like, this is beautiful. But now for the awful part. Something happened recently, and it's because I watched the Monster series, the season on Ed Gein, and admittedly it did kind of F me up a little bit. Especially since I didn't listen to the little voice in my head to say, let's watch something else when I was about to get to the episode where he was like babysitting the kids. And I heard a little voice in my head that said, let's watch something else. And I did watch something else, but then I went back to it. Because I wanted to finish the season. I wanted to finish it out because it would be incomplete. And then it sounded like I got permission to finish it, but I need to guard my eyes next time, which is weird because one of my favorite genres has been horror ever since I was young. I used to be a big Ryan Murphy fan. My favorite shows used to be American Horror Story, and before that was Glee. So it's kind of weird to be on the other side and go, yeah, Ryan Murphy is a sicko, especially since like 90% of that is fabricated. And so this time I was watching something else this morning that was animated. And the feeling the little nudging to turn it off and watch something else came up again. And I was thinking, oh, what if I just skip through it? But evidently I stopped watching it and I watched something else. I feel like that was God giving me like a second chance to obey next time, to kind of guard my eyes, to kind of not look at things that are disturbing or worldly or demonic. And in case anybody wants to know what it is, it was the new Bob's Burgers episode, the Halloween one, where it's like where the guy is like, their friend or whatever is helping this dude who's opening an occult store or whatever. I felt that nudging to stop watching, and I said, oh, what if I just started skipping and then skip over the parts that take place in that. Evidently I eventually I stopped like watching it entirely and I watched something else. So that's what happened. Trees are beautiful. Great work out there. This is amazing. So back to this testimony thing. I was thinking about like maybe making it a video, and I've been typing and retyping. There's like 3 versions on my Google Docs, and I eventually want to make it a video. I just don't know how to say it and how to articulate things, if you will. It's just, yeah. I confuse myself sometimes because I don't want people to be confused about it. Really, I'm making it harder than it needs to be. You know, and I don't live in the past. I don't want to live in the past, but, you know, it's also important to share that. But yeah, no. What? It's beautiful. I'm looking at the camera here. Or my phone. The screen on my phone where I'm recording as I'm walking to a table. So that's what I've been up to. It's a great place to do a devotional out here, by the way. I don't really think about bringing my Bible and stuff because usually I'm just getting up and going or getting out and going. You know, I've been up for hours, but like I'll do like the verse of the day and do my studying in the morning when I get up and then shower. So I don't really think about it. It's a great place to do a devotional. I've only done one other devotional outside, and this has been recent. But when I went to Devil's Lake with one of my small groups, and we did a devotional afterwards in the park. Like we hiked and then we did a devotional. For a little bit, it was like one of the Psalms. So yeah, I wonder what we're going to do tonight. Because tonight we're meeting in the church. Because the guy that hosted is out of town. So that means I get to drive. Because my parents don't let me drive on the highway and stuff. You know, especially in bad weather and all that, but it's beside the point. But yeah, typically it has to be nice like this for me to be allowed to drive in my big age. And I don't mean to bash my parents. I'm not trying to, but that's just, you know, where I'm at. So yeah, this is just kind of been what I'm up to, what I've been up to. I have nothing to do, so I guess I'm not the neat that I used to be back in my prodigal years. I'm going to small groups and I'm going to Awana and I'm being the game leader there, the game director or whatever you want to call it. So I'm doing things. I'm evangelizing on the internet, on TikTok and on YouTube with YouTube Shorts and all that. So it's not like I'm not doing nothing. It's just, yeah, I got a lot of free time right now and I'm very poor. Actually, that's not too true either, but still, you know, just not, I don't know. I don't know what God has planned for me, you know, and another part of that is me wanting to be on the inside and the, you know, like I want God to take my hand like a 6-year-old and go, okay, now we're going to do this. Okay, you did that. Okay, good job. Now can you do this? Very nice. You know, stuff like that. But yeah, I guess another thing that's happened lately is that while simultaneously doing Sunday school and being a Sunday school teacher, I was helping the people that were in charge lead worship. So I was playing the keys for them. And now that they've stepped down and leadership has changed to my pastor's wife runs it now. And you know, nothing wrong with my pastor's wife. I like my pastor and his wife. But I don't need to be at both services anymore, but I would like to be because I have friends in both services that go to both services. So it's like, or that go to either service. So yeah, that's another weird thing. I don't know what to do with that. You know, I mean, I know I could probably join my grandparents for lunch after they go to their Sunday school thing, but we're just in between services. So yeah, I don't know what to do. That's the latest. That's the other latest thing that's been happening in my life. It's changes. Yet another wardrobe change. There it is. It's on the charger. Speaking of changes, Ethan and Hannah are no more. She used to be in the vlogs a lot. Ethan's got someone new now. Still living, you know, the state over us. Gabe is still Gabing around. He sleeps through most of the day, so like, you know, I'm up here taking care of Linus the dog and doing my own dishes and stuff and having to wait until the afternoon to practice my piano. But yeah, that is like opportunity that I don't do because it's not productive, and that's to play video games. I haven't really done it in a while where that was all I did. That's crazy. But yeah, it's not really productive. And speaking of productivity, I'm going to get to work here, which now also includes saving the clips that I sent to myself from this vlog. So what we're currently at is I need to get my notes from here. This is Hebrews chapter 5. We're doing 1 through 10 here. We get it right here. That is current. And voila! Thumbnail. So I just had lunch. It was a ravioli. It was like one of those lean ones. They come in an orange box now. But my question for this vlog, I guess, can be, do you have any internal dilemmas?